Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Chris. I own a 1990 Supra. It's a 7M car, R154. Um, this video, I'm gonna try to walk you through as quick as possible, taking out the R154 with the engine in the car and the car on jack stands. It's not horrible. I pulled the motor by itself one time and left the transmission in the car. Putting the motor back in sucked. I won't ever do that again. I have only since taken the motor and transmission out together. Until recently, I pulled the transmission out with the car the way that it is right now and put it back in, and man, it's easier. I like doing it that way better than any other way. So since there's not a whole lot out there, it's probably going to be like a 2 or 3 part video, I guess. I'll try to keep them short, but it's going to be taking out the R154. It's going to be the clutch setup. I'm taking the transmission back out to do the rear main seal. If anybody in the super groups has seen any of my posts, they might recognize it. This is Snow White. But it's a V-mount setup car. It's fairly clean, but anyway, all right, so we're gonna get started with pretty much everything that you need is right here. The trick to getting all the bell housing bolts is going to be several extensions: a 3-inch, a 6-inch, and a 12-inch, a swivel, and that in particular is going to be for the upper bell housing bolts. So first thing you're going to do is unhook your battery. I just disconnect the negative cable off the battery. That's it. End of story. So that's whatever, because you're dealing with the starter and you're taking the bell housing bolts out, so that's always cool. If you have a 90 and up, make sure you put your seat back the whole way before you disconnect your battery. I forgot again, but I was still able to get to the screw. Because you are going to have to take out some interior. If you're looking at doing a transmission swap, hopefully you're already familiar with the car to the extent that you kind of know what's going on already. But just grabbing a flashlight. Alright, so the only interior that needs to come out of the car is this panel right here that's underneath the steering wheel, your center console, your shift cover piece, shifter, and your ashtray and that kind of stuff. But real simple. Interior of the car, there's a screw there under a cover, screw there, screw down there, screw down there. Pop this loose, pop that this piece right here, pop that loose, this piece slides right out. You have to take that out because there is a screw right there that goes right there that you need to get get this piece here out. So with that sitting in the car, you'll have that screw that's up under there, which this has to come out first. There's a screw right there. This is the one where you need your seat back to get to. You'll have a screw here, a screw there, two up there. Those two up there hold this in like that. You'll pull that out. You'll unplug the light. You just squeeze it and pull it off. That's the end of it. This, you're gonna lift this up and pull out, get it past your radio first, and then you're gonna pull out. Just grab it and just pull straight back. It's got these clips on the back. Everybody breaks them. Even mine's got one broke for as nice as stuff as I've been able to find. But those clips, they just pull straight back. So that's the end of it. You have a plug right there and a plug right there for the cigarette lighter and for the hazard light. You can only pull that out so far, and you have to unplug it. So once you get that out, it's gonna look like that. You only need to take that out because you need to get this off. You need to get your shifter out. So 10 millimeter is going to be what you got here. You'll have 4, and that cover will lift off. There's a boot under there. There's a dust cover, and then there's 4 more 10 millimeters. And you take them out, and that's it. That's all you have to do on the inside of your car. This is what that boot looks like. So it sits in there. These are the first 4 that you'll encounter right there, and you can just lift that boot up. And then once you get that lifted up, this cover right there, that I'll have 4 more. Which will be those guys, the little ones. They're both 10 millimeter, but the bolts go in the outside. The ones with the machine screws go on the inside. So that's the end of that. That's all you need to do on the inside of the car. So that gets you ready to get dirty. I have the car off the ground a good ways. I mean, I've got some decent room underneath of the car. But you're going to want to drain your transmission. You're going to want to open the bleeder on your clutch to run out your brake fluid in there, just ahead of time. Mine, it's already done. I've already taken care of it. But that's just some stuff to get out the way ahead of time. You're going to take off a piece of your exhaust. So I don't know what setup everybody has, but you don't need a lot of tools to do all of this. My exhaust comes off with 17 millimeter. You only have to take out the test pipe, like cat portion of it, right there. There's that front flange that has the exhaust hanger right where the transmission is, and it comes back out. That comes out. Hopefully you only have to do this one time, so it's a good idea to get new gaskets for those. Driveline also comes out. And it's just one of those things where the driveline has to come out. The exhaust makes it easier to pull out. This end of it is 12. It's a 12 millimeter bolt and nut setup with a lock nut. So that's all you need back there is 2 wrenches, slip yoke, so it just slides out. You get that out of the way. There's a cross member piece. It's a side-to-side brace. It's 2 14 millimeter bolts. I took them out. They're still in the chassis. So that stuff has to come out in preparation to pull the transmission out. So this I'm grabbing the flashlight. Okay, so anybody that's done the starter on these knows it sucks. It's in a bad place. If you have a forward-facing intake manifold, you cannot get to the top bolt of the starter without taking the intake off. I can't. I just can't get to it. There's no way. I cheated. I welded a bolt across the head of that top bolt so I don't have to get on the head of it to tighten it up or take it off. So it's just laying in there. I can put a nut on it and thread it tight. It's fine. Either way, it's hard to get to. There's a bell housing bolt right down below that heater core line. It's horrible to get to. There is this top bell housing bolt. Okay, to get on that one, easiest way to do it, 14 millimeter socket, 1/4 inch drive ratchet. It's small enough, and since I don't have a charcoal canister, I can get my hand right down there. That's how you get that one out. The next one you'll see on this side is So the next one is right there, that little bump out. Sorry about the bad video, but you'll see it when you get under there. That goes, the head faces the rear of the car, so that goes backwards. These stays coming off of the block, you know, there's 4 bolts there. They come out. So all of those come out. And what I will tell you is going in underneath of the car from the passenger side so that you know what I mean, so that your feet are hanging out here and your head's over at the driver's side tire. That is the way to go. All this extension, you come in from right about the transmission mount and you can reach up right to the back of the starter with your other hand. You can get right to it, like it's not even a problem. You just have to have a couple swivels, couple extensions, and you're good to go. Now, I have a hydraulic throwout bearing. I'm running the Super Single from Drift Motion as my clutch. So my clutch setup's a little different. I don't have the slave cylinder bolted to the side anymore. I just have my lines, my bleeder line hanging out, and there's a hydraulic throwout bearing inside. Either way, it doesn't make a difference. The procedure's still exactly the same, which I didn't know this until the last time I did this and struggled with it. Take your inspection covers off. There. So you'll have those 2, one on each side, and you'll have that piece. I believe the big piece is held on by a 14 millimeter and the other 2 are 12. Take those inspection covers off. You're going to put a breaker bar or 1/2 inch drive ratchet, 19 millimeter socket on the crank bolt. Spin that around. you're going to go ahead and unbolt the clutch through the inspection cover. Doesn't matter which side, whatever side easiest for you to get into. And I don't know what the OE clutch nut or bolt size is. Mine's a 6mm Allen head. But you will definitely look back. So right there. So right there's the clutch. And you can get 2 bolts out at a time, one through each side, and then turn it by the crankshaft. And so what I found is, okay, so while we're under here, so I don't have to get back under the cart, the transmission mounts there. It's got 12mm bolts that go into the chassis through the mount, and shorter ones that go up inside, and that is right here. That's the transmission mount. These are, they go through, and these hold it to the transmission. Okay, so you're definitely going to unbolt the clutch through the inspection covers. All of the bell housing bolts, so the way this works is you have pressure that's going to be against the clutch. So as you're drawing the bell housing down, it's going to be putting pressure on the clutch, so you can't tighten. You have to line the clutch up first before you start putting any pressure on it. I did all this the last time, and I had to take everything back apart because I bolted my bell housing tight, and that forced everything tight together, and I couldn't align my clutch at that point. I couldn't turn it. So you're basically just going to get, when that all goes together, you're just going to have it just sitting on the dowels and the pilot bearing lined up, and you're going to line the clutch up and then bolt the clutch down, and then undo the bell housing bolt. So I take it out of the transmission mount though, so it can let it push itself backwards. Otherwise, it's going to hold it there, and it's going to put all that pressure in up front. So unbolt the clutch, unbolt the bell housing, it'll push itself away. Like, I not touched it. It's ready to come out. The next video, I'm going to slide it back, but I have done nothing. I mean, and it's even past the dowel. Like, I've done nothing. I just unbolted it, and it just pushed itself off, and it'll come right out of there. Whether you still have the OE fork or not, it doesn't make a difference. You leave all that in the bell housing. So if anybody has anything different to say, that's fine. Leave a comment, and that's cool, man. So stay tuned for the second video. We'll be dropping the transmission out right away. Thanks for watching.